Good.
Hello, hello, hello.
Hello, everyone. Right, finally, I hope you can hear me. Can everyone hear me okay? And Brett, say something this week so we actually check that you're being heard.
Hello.
Great. So it looks like we can both be coming through
I'm
OBS this week.
still a little bit louder than you.
Yeah. I've only turned you down halfway so far. Let me turn you down a little bit more. There we go. Right. So,
If I'm too loud, please do let us know. We'll rectify it.
somehow. So, this is the semi-final week. Big week. We're about to start the final week. So we're down to the top four in each cup. We're about to be down to top two after this stream when we go to the draw. Not much of a draw when it's a
No.
bracket, but the principle's still there. And so today we've got the Ganymede Archivists versus
The French keys.
the French Keys.
There's two S's, so it's keys.
Keys. Okay, Keys. So this is the Ganymede Archivists who are based in Canada and Hong Kong versus the French Keys based in France. I'm guessing. What do you want to say so far? We've got two recordings to go through, and unfortunately,
Yeah, so
we
due
missed
to
one.
a family commitment, I missed one.
Family first, always. Family first.
Yeah, so due to a family commitment, I thought I was going to get back in time, but I missed out by essentially a few minutes. But apparently, it was a very short game. We have got the Crucible tracker, and I did offer to recreate it using multiple Crucible accounts, but Chris told me that'd be too much work, and I don't get paid to do that, so I don't get paid at all.
Yeah, and also, yeah, no, there's not. As awesome as that would have been, it's not worth the time, unfortunately.
We have got previous footage of the Ganymede Archivists. We haven't seen much of the French Keys, but as we can see with what we got with the Age of Ascension deck, it is a Brig Jenka deck. It is an absolute monster.
Yeah, you just take one look at this and go, oh god. Pocket Universe, Hexagon, double Binary Rupture, but only one graft at least.
One graft, but it has got a lot of speed with the Hexapons, Fetch Drones getting through the deck. Good amber control with Charette and Mars Needs Amber.
2 dice Dust Imps. This is Orbital Bombardment, a card I always like to see, but we don't see very often.
Well, Orbital Bombardment with Mars Needs Amber can allow some nice setup of the Mars Needs Amber. Brainstem Antenna, when you've got cards, when you've got nice cards on the board. Nothing really that can take full advantage of it. There's no Tesmals or anything that if you put a Brainstem Antenna, it gets a bit broken.
Oh, completely. Well, that's just in the interest of time, and let's keep moving.
You know, you can keep these going. I strengthened them to a minute. You asked me to.
I thought we said not the minute. Okay, no worries, man. Right, so we're going to keep talking about this for another 45 seconds now.
But as Not Tonight pointed out, this is a classic Brig Jenka. Fair game is quite good, especially if you're going to be setting up. But you don't really want to get a fair game when you've just done the Generosity. That could be a bit bad. But there's a nice way to set up this Mars Needs Amber. Nice speeds, lab work, sloppy lab work. Ooh, don't know what happened there.
But no,
Soulkeeper could do some nice work here. Lash of Broken Dreams.
Always good. Always good to have a nice lash in place.
Definitely. It could go quite well, but the French Keys deck, which if we ever get to... There we go. The French Keys deck, still very strong in itself. Triple Lost in the Woods, a fertility chant that has an Amber Pips. That's 5 Amber. Because this deck only has Amber Pips. Double Bow Niffing, triple Slobby Oak. The speed of this deck looks immense. If you can get Wild Bounty off as well, with the 5 pip fertility chant, that could be 10 Amber.
Dear God, triple Lost in the Woods. 2 Glorious Attendant will give you all the pips, but that's Key Frog. I feel is kind of an interesting one in this, but yeah.
When it comes to Mass Mutation, I think of it as a equilateral triangle. You want to have good board control, good amber control, and good disruption control. So you get controlling artifacts, controlling what's going on with the hands. And this deck seems really strong in all of that. You're drawing quick. You got your good amber control. with your old Brunos and going off that. And there it is. There's my I couldn't find the game, so I put a chicken in a cowboy hat with no signal.
Awesome. So shall I pause it at this point?
Yeah, pause it here. So we did get the Crucible Tracker ID from here, and the game was over pretty quickly. Petite Bat, the mass mutation player, got Fandangle down, basically got the amber generation and the speed going quite quickly. Had already forged the first key by the time Lash of Broken Dreams came down, and then was immediately was pretty much in position to forge both keys again. The Brig and the Jenka just didn't show up until it was too late, and Petite Bat won the game in eight turns.
Wow, that's a nice quick game.
He outraced the Brig Jenka. If the Brig had come early enough, if the Jenka had come early enough, it could have gone a completely different way. But unfortunately, it does happen. We know from the fact that in the top four that both these players are quite really good, but T-Bat just got a much stronger start, and as everyone knows, luck is a factor in these games.
Always. I mean, I'd say the point of this game and most card games is actually you're purely playing luck mitigation. That's the objective of the game, is to mitigate as much of the luck as possible. Yeah,
you have got matchups and you have got things like that. This was a good matchup for Brian Gogo, but Petite Bot just raced ahead. It was looking at the Crucible Tracker, it was reminiscent of the old KOTE rush decks, and unfortunately there was just no answer that he had at the time.
Yep. So that's an AOA deck beating Mass Mutation there, I believe.
No, that was Mass Mutation beating AOA.
What wrong words came out? Mass Mutation being AOA.
Yeah, and it's something I've seen quite a lot throughout this tournament is Mass Mutation has got a strong hold on AOA. I was the AOA player for our team, and the only games I lost was against Mass Mutation. They were close, but Mass Mutation has got, the good Mass Mutation decks have got that triangle of control.
But most importantly, did you enjoy them?
I mean, going up against a triple Ludo 7 Sins deck, no, the enjoy is a bit of a push.
Well, did you learn from them then?
That I need to draw KOTE at the right time.
Always. It's an important life lesson to know. Always know when to get your key cheats down. Anyway, let's move on. Let's move on. So this is the second game. So currently, Ganymede Archivists are 1-up, I'm assuming.
Yeah, Ganymede Archivists are 1-up.
And we now move on to the second game, which is Ganymede Archivists AOA versus the French Keys.
No, sorry, the French Keys are 1-up.
So
that is the French key.
Okay, sorry. Oh, sorry. That's what I would have assumed. So, this is the French Keys' AOA deck. Oh, no, I need to pause it. I won't pause it. Triple Ronnie. Gauntlet Command.
Triple Ronnie, Bread Fanatic, Perplexing Sophisticality, Double Dust Chronicles, nice speed, nice control.
It's a nice middle of the line deck, I'd say.
I'm liking the Brobnar on this. You got this a sufficient lack of a Drummernot, but Ganga Chieftain with Carl Fine, with Walt the Titanic, with Bilgrim Avalanche, and a Grunt Buggy. You've got nothing in your lineup there in Brobnar of those 8 creatures. You got 2 creatures below 4 power, so that's at 6 creatures. At 5 power, that's a lot of power.
Definitely. I mean, but with Grunt Buggy, that's what you kind of need.
On the Untamed side, you've got Grasping Vines, Nature's Call, KOTE Hazari with Regrowth and Fuzzy Growing. If you can get that Nature's Call off, that'd be really good. Moving over to the Mass Mutation.
Triple QMech. Triple QMech. 5 sins. 6 sins.
4 sins.
4 sins. I can't count.
Where did you... you were going up. No,
4 sins. Either way, 4 sins.
With Desire being the one that increased key cost by 4, Gluttony exalts itself for each thing you have on the board, and then move all amber on your creatures in. Sloth lets you gain 1 amber at the end of the turn for each sin if you did not use any creatures, and Wrath has Taunt, Skirmish, Poison, Fight, Enrage a creature for each sin you have down. Boom! Having Gluttony with Pandemonium seems insane, because you just use Pandemonium, capture all your opponent's amber onto your creatures, reap with Gluttony, take all that amber, play Guilty Hearts, blow up your opponent's board, boom, done.
So are we ready to get started then?
get started about actually going in. I think it wasn't long enough to go for that deck because there was Fangtooth Cavern. There's so much. We only got to go for the disc, but this Mass Mutation deck has so many answers and so much control.
Well, let's see how they play. So, looking at, I'm going to pause it. We'll do through the starting hands. So we have up top. We have Ashitak, who that is. So which one's which? I'm just going to have to look at the decks, I suppose, to find out.
So Chen is the Mass Mutation player at the bottom, which is the Ganymede Archivist, and Ashitaka is the French Keys.
Yep. So Ashitaka at the top, he'll obviously be going second with a pretty rubbishy starting hand, to be fair. I mean,
the Fuzzy Groom with the regrowth seems quite strong. The Rig Lottery with Ronnie is quite bad, but Rig Lottery here is pure gas because your opponent doesn't have shadows.
Yeah.
And that's always good to see. Building Avalanche getting down early is good, because, but you want to kind of get it protection, or you want it just before you go to Forge. But both hands are probably a mulligan, especially if you're going first from Chen's side.
It'll be interesting.
You haven't really got an opening card.
So let's see what they do. One mulligan.
One mulligan at the bottom. Guilty Hearts, Sloth.
Two mulligans.
No, that's a much better start for Ashtaka there.
So that's two mulligans in place here now. So we've got a Grunt Buggy with Lolop and Gannic Chieftain. It's a much better.
Keys instantly cost 8.
And Tanzilian. And then Grappling Vines.
No,
Even. But
I think we're going to see a lot of discarding from Chen, because he's going to drop this Auto Encoder, and then this Glory's Attendant, which is a Dust Pixie that redistributes the Amber.
Yep.
It can be just discarded for an Archive. A Q-Mech with Damage Pip is quite good.
Oh, Q-Mechs are always good regardless of the extra picks, but with the extra pips, they're amazing.
Significant Figure has just opened one on his YouTube channel, and it's a Q-Mech with 2 draw pips.
Oh, God.
Yeah. He sent me a link to it yesterday because he's in a tournament I'm in, and I looked at it. I was like, that Q-Mech is disgusting. Just draw 3 cards.
Right, let's see how we get going.
There's more time in between the actions this time, so we should be able to properly commentate. But
sure.
Yeah, there's the encoder. The Crucible update did mess up a bit my overlay, so the artifact is a bit cut off. I didn't notice for a while.
But anyway, we start with Grunt Buggy, come down and I see that it's now going to the centre of the map as well, which is a nice touch. The artifacts.
We go centre, which means I've also been able to increase the size of the creatures, making it a bit clearer for ourselves.
Oh, that's much. I can actually read them. So
discounts the Glory Attendant to Archive, and then plays Commune get into 4.
Yeah.
Hashtag goes straight back into Bramnat. Just reap. This doesn't mean Flame Wake Shaman is going to have to damage one of their own creatures.
But yeah, he's not necessarily that bad of issue. We got 11 creature in play.
Especially dropping it up. And this is really bad for Ashtaka because they're basically in a situation where they're playing 2 cards and now drawing 2 in the same house.
Yeah.
Discards Dark Minion, plays Guilty Hearts for the Amber, plays Zaya, plays Sloth, and then readies up and gains 2 Amber from Sloth, gets to 7, but keys cost 13.
But I'm liking the Logos house at the bottom. So in a third Brognar turn off Ashy attack, at least he knows it's most of Brognar's out the way.
Exactly. He's looking to set up, gets Fuse down, Groke into the Zaya main, losing the Amber, getting to 6. Wants complete control of this board. Ashtaka is not willing to give control of the board, but this does set up a nice standardized testing. If Flamewake Shaman weren't there, it'd be a board wipe.
Yeah.
So that Flamewake Shaman's saving the board here. Plays Autovac 5150.
Yeah.
Which is a really nice card. One of the good cards for key increasing and archiving. Does the damage pip to Groke, going to make sure that ability isn't going to be of any more use.
Yep, another key.
But does sacrifice the Forge. Ashtaka does get the first key.
So keys are costing 6 to 9.
Yep, thanks for good it. Grasping Vines, bouncing the artifact straight back into hand.
Yeah. All 2 Ronnies with the whistling darts at the top now. That's
and a perplexing sophisticated. But that isn't probably going to get any value.
No, it's not.
Possibly will do though, because if the two Ronnies are going to trigger, which is going to be a 4 Amber swing, so it might actually get to the point where he does get full value. We'll goes for a this turn. Use this Grim Reminder to put all the disc creatures back. So Desire and Desire and Sloth are back into the archives. Use Breaky to unforge the key and then increases the key cost back to 7. That's a very nice play. Uses Foozle to get to 9. Now the choices are here that you surrender the key. So yeah, Cheng here surrendering the first key has got a Desire in the archive, so could have played Desire to keep Ashtaker back off that first key. Fighting the Q-Mex used his second standardized testing to essentially wipe out Ashtaker's board, removing that board control that they had been holding on to very strongly. But with 10 Amber, these Ronnies are going to do work.
Yeah, still 6 straight away. What's Perplexing Singularity do?
Perplexing Sophisticality is if you have more Amber than your opponent, draw 1 and your opponent discards 1. But having a auto-encoder down, that is a bit of gas, because you're especially with the hand that Chen has, discarding a Niffle Ape to archive seems pretty good.
But then we're looking now that the keys are only costing 6. He's got actually he has a Choto in hand, 9 Amber, a Fuzzy Gurren. So, I mean, yes,
definitely. Look at this turn coming in here. Library card has been popped, which is the new library access. Yep. Plays Q-Mech, draws 2 cards. Plays Q-Mech, draws 2 cards. Plays Dynamic Charge, which is able to wipe out the opponent's creatures. Draws a card. Plays Q-Mech, draws 2 cards.
Plays Q-Mech, draws 2 cards.
And has played Effervescent Principle throughout that as well, which is half the Amber, which means Ashtak's off that second key.
Yeah. So they've both got key sheets in hand.
Discards the second standardized testing, which has come back. Use the auto-encoder to archive a card.
Key Frog, I'm guessing. Oh, no.
Use his auto-vac to archive another card.
Then flipping over. So then, do you play the Choto here now, or do you leave the Choto?
Yes, with the auto-vac down and knowing Desires in the deck, you drop the Choto, you want that second key, and you've got to remember, we haven't seen this Nature's Call.
That is true.
So the Nature's Call, Ashtak's digging for this Nature's Call, because having both Fuzzy and Choto ready to go is what, 3 out. Well, if they reap, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 1 more Amber, and that's able to go off Choto. So Sloth's gonna get 4 Amber here. Plays Desire. Plays Gluttony next to Desire, keeping the key cost up. Plays Gluttony, which exalts for 4. Plays the Dark Minion. Holds the Pandemonium for when Gluttony can actually reap, and the fact Ashtak's got no Amber. But Desire making keys cost 12, but when it reaps, it does decrease the key cost for each sin and allows you to forge. So mid-turn forging in this is very dirty.
Yeah.
Wipes out Dark Minion and so he's able to wipe out Dark Minion and Sloth. Sloth is a dangerous one to keep around. Fights Raffin to Foozle is then going to be able to enrage all 3 of those. And the momentum after losing that ball control has completely swung into Chen's favour. No Amber for this 3rd key. 2nd key forged, and unless this board's dealt with, Chen will be able to forge this next key just by going dis.
Yeah, I missed that. I missed that 2nd key come through. Yeah,
because Desire is a key cheat as well as increasing key costs.
So what's the exact test of Desire?
Although the key costs are 11, it's when you reap with Desire, they drop down to 8.
Yep.
Pulls the Ronnie off the Dust Chronicles, so he's able to get the Amber quite low. The main issue, so fights Redlock, wants to get more creatures down, so the Pandemonium captures less. Uses Pandemonium to capture 3 transfers it all over. There's 9, and that's a third key forge mid-turn from Desire.
Nicely done. Very nicely done. So, I mean, that was an interesting position to see all the way through it. It wasn't particularly one-sided. It was a nice back and forth, but you could see the Sin's decks playing to their strength nicely.
And this is something you see quite a lot with AOA taking on Mass Mutation, is AOA will storm ahead quite quickly, but Mass Mutation, I've said this all the way throughout the commentary, Mass Mutation does not care about the first key. It only cares about the third key. If it can stop you getting that third key, it knows it wins. With AOA, you can often see when AOA goes against AOA, once that first key falls, the next 2 keys can fall quite quickly. But with Mass Mutation, it only cares about the third key. If it can stop you getting the third key, it knows it wins.
Wow. Yep. Just give me 1 second.
No worries. So, moving on to Worlds Collide versus Worlds Collide. This side of the game, both teams have got 1 win. So whoever wins here goes on to the finals.
Yep. So this is the last semi-final. Winner takes all. I pressed the right button to play it would help. Yeah. And we'll see. So here we go for the Worlds Collide from the Ganymede Archivist, Joker 7007. Worlds Collide.
What we're seeing here is just a good consistent deck. Universal Keylock, Realta Galeem, Ghost Hawks. It just wants to play cards and do stuff.
Yeah.
It has got the Sinatus Rex Golden Spiral combo, if you can get that off. Next Aximil Grisk, Interdimensional Graft is always a powerful card. It's in honesty just a really strong deck.
What do you think of Universal Keylock?
Universal Keylock, I like it. So Universal Keylock gives you 1 amber and it increases the key cost for both players by 3. When a player forges, it gets destroyed. Basically, what happens is that'll get dropped, and then both players will start playing chicken because they don't want to be the first to forge at 9. What's good about the deck from Ganymede Archivist, it's got the interdimensional graph, so even if they don't forge, even if they forge first for 9, they can then steal all the amber their opponent's been saving up.
Yep, definitely. Right, so we're going to the second team, the Bot or Not from the French Keys Worlds Collide. So,
what I'm immediately drawn to is the double punctuated equilibrium.
Ooh.
With the United Action. So United Action is an alpha card that says you may not use any cards this turn, but you can play cards from any house you have in play. So if you've got all 3 of your houses down, you can play every card in your hand. If you have punctuated equilibrium, you then draw a brand new hand.
That's a nice combo. I've not come across that one.
Grasping Vines with Universal Keylock seems really strong, especially if you've got if you're doing it under United Action or if you're doing it through a Comms Officer Kirby, because it means that you can basically bounce it and replay it. Or again, we've got another interdimensional graph here, so you can let your opponent overextend an amber, bounce the Universal Keylock, and then drop down the interdimensional graph to take all the amber from the low forge.
So
I'm expecting a really good game with a lot of back and forth.
I hope so, because you promised me there was a 1 reasonable length game. So we got the usual hands, 7 at the bottom for the first player for Battle Not from the French Keys going first. Interesting with Commander Chan, the Zap, Stealth Mode.
Well, both games got cut down to roughly 10 minutes, but that would leave us with a bit of time. We can talk about upcoming events, like we got the Key Forge Quiz tomorrow. But
yes, of course, and a few other bits and pieces. But let's look at these hands. I would mulligan both of them.
I definitely mulligan the top hand. Tartamorphous is very good, but Realta Galeem, Mustic Mamook, and Lodon getting this early is quite bad.
Yeah, the Logos is fine, but everything else is bad.
Yeah, if I had more creatures, I might be inclined to keep the Chen hand, but this is I definitely mulligan both these hands.
Let's see what they do. Play.
That blaster is a Kahar's blaster. That's a much better hand for Joker.
Oh god, yes. That's what you want as an opening hand.
Prevent the steals, get the Sinus Rex early, but you need your opponent to play a creature or Sinus Rex will just blow itself up, and a nice Falling Strike. United Action early feels really bad for Bot or Not. It might be a discard or hopefully get an archive. Kahar's Blaster with no Kahar. Zap could be quite good. in all honesty, I'd probably turn one Rustengar.
Yeah, you have to because otherwise it'll be a waste of a card whenever you do.
I mean, you could drop Chan and hope that your opponent hasn't got any removal. You could then drop the Blaster and then get some extra ammo and go for the push.
But then you might as well wait to turn 2 and do that. I'd say. Dropping
Joker's turn is definitely going to be sorry, and there's no chance he's not going to do that.
No, that's not even a debate. So let's see. Rest of the Russian Aurora.
Yeah.
It's a nice.
Very nice. Gets the plasma nozzle. Says Gargantuan. Each steal becomes capture. Sinister Rex. If there's no enemy creatures down, it automatically destroys itself. And fight, you can exalt it and then ready each friendly card. Not a creature, hard. Plays Phallic Strike.
Onto the Russian Aurora.
Exalts it to damage Sinister Rex. So gets the extra amber, but then uses Zap to take out his own Rustengar, which destroys Sinister Rex. That's a very nice move.
Keeping United
drops the Plasma Nozzle, drops the Kahaz Blaster.
What's Plasma Nozzle again?
So Plasma Nozzle is fight, deal 2 damage to the target. Before the fight, deal 2 damage to the target and each of its neighbours.
That was it, yeah. Flamethrower, basically.
Bottom-up definitely going to be going into a Logo's turn here. We're probably going to see Bottom-up spending quite some time trying to set up this United Actions. Needs to keep at least one card from each house down and then can go completely nuts.
Let's see what the comeback is for that.
Positron Bot going to make quick work of Daughter, just makes damage 2. Commander Chan drops the Graph. So is it going to be holding on waiting for it to get higher? That's just want to answer the artifact. So both players got to 6. So once the Forge goes, uses Regrowth from the Quaint to get Sinister Rex back. So that's a telltale that Saurian is going to be one coming very soon.
Let's see what's coming through then as the counter. Well, that hand, it has to be untapped, really.
You could have gone
Star Alliance, but not really.
You could have gone Star Alliance, but you wouldn't have been able to play the Untamed cards in your hand from the United Action. You would have been able to drop the Igor though.
That's a much better position to do a Star Alliance, do a United Action from.
The main issue is that Axiom with Grisk.
Yeah, but we know that's coming. He doesn't.
Yeah, we knew that was coming. Axiom with Grisk. This United Action has become a bit of a chain for Bottom-up.
Yeah.
Discard Sinister Rex. He's just put it into his hand. But discard Sinister Rex and got a strange choice on the Logo's turn, but Telltale Vapors draws Stealth Mode
and Igor's played.
Did Archive
the Commander Chan. Interesting. And he's got an interface back. Which does he keep it or does he play it?
So there's the graph. The graph could be quite interesting here. Removes Pterodactyl. Removes Stun Pterodactyl. Reaches with Gargantuan. Plays Chant of Hubris. See, both plays here is playing chicken with 9.
Yeah.
Ghost Alliance. Goes United Action. So there's going to be some quick editing. Well, basically what's happening here is Commander Chan is Commander Kerb is coming down, puts Wind Spirit on Pterodactyl, and then there's plays Commander Chan, and then there's some quick manual mode because Wind Spirit is still in play for Bottom-up, so he should be able to play Untamed cards on the United Action, but Crucible has a bit of a dicky fit about it. So what we saw there was Bottom-up bounce the Universal Keylock back to hand to play interdimensional graph, allowing them to take all the remaining amber, get themselves to 14. And
nice
Joker
play.
has no answer for this.
That's an awesome play. So he forges, he's got 8 left. He's got his 2 perplexing singularities in his hand. Sorry, not perplexing singularities.
And he's going to get rid of the punctuation. He's going to use the punctuating equilibrium to get rid of it. Plays Harmonia to gain 1. Plays Mamook to make the key cheaper, and then increases Mamook's power. Has to deal with the Mamook here.
So that's a pterodactyl charge into in the middle, and then
yeah. So play Soul Salt, which means there's no Reaper next turn. Pterodactyl deals 4 damage either side, and Gargantuan finishes the job. But Harmonia lives, and the more creatures you play, so now Harmonia is going to get 1 amber as soon as Bottom plays a creature.
So it's going to be a Logos Tide. He's going to play 2 creatures to get 1 amber from that. He's going to 2 ambers off the other 2 cards because you might as well play Graft at this point to get yourself up to 7.
Yeah. So Harmonia, plays mini group think tank, deals 8 damage but pops the 1 and Pterodactyl. Go for research, gets to 7, and there is actually an out here.
What's the out then?
So Song of the Wild.
Yeah.
Then goes into Ghost Hog. There's the Wind Spirit that Bottom put on the Pterodactyl means that when Ghost Hawk reaps with it captures 1.
Oh.
So the upgrade that Bottom put on the Pterodactyl
delays him.
Stopped him from winning that turn.
One hell of a comeback though now at this point, I'll be honest. We've seen it before, but it'll be one hell of a comeback.
So see mini group think tank and I think that's it. Yeah. At 8, Joker did not get his own universal keylock, which would be good. And we see a punch rate equilibrium in Bottom's hand, ready to go. Goes for the fighting. Goes for the fighting. We're going to see unnatural selection to wipe out the untamed creatures, just to go for the Amberburst and show what could have been.
Yeah.
Get the load on and then drop in the Deepwood Druid. And then Bottom has won the game. The French Keys take it 2-1 and move on to the finals, where they'll be taking on the Hamburg Atlanteans, who took it 2-1 against the HK.